Hello and welcome to Backstage with Plutio. This is an experimental video series where our aim is to show you how transparent we are and take you back with us into back scenes of Plutio so you can see how we plan, design, and even develop exciting new features live. In this particular video, I'm going to cover two things. One, I'm going to show you the improved mobile menu, specifically on our app, because we've received heaps of feedback from people who weren't able to use it or didn't even know that it scrolls. So we collected all that feedback and we came up with a new concept, which I'm going to share with you and show you where we're at later on in the video. The second thing I'm going to work on is polishing up the prototype and designs for our upcoming Wiki feature. So stay tuned as I take a quick break and I'll be back. Awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you and you'll be able to see the browser and the programming software I use to code the designs. I'm going to open it right now just to make sure it works. Here we go. And I'm going to close this window so it doesn't... Awesome. So first things first, I'm going to show you how we currently have the mobile menu, how it looks currently. And the feedback that we received and the tests that we've done that sort of made us decide to figure out a new way and improve it. So I'm going to go to a live Plutio app. And I'm going to resize my window to be a bit smaller. Now, you see on mobile or tablets or smaller windows, the menu goes at the very bottom, like this. And let's say I'm going to resize it to a mobile version. So a lot of people, when they actually open the app, they don't realize that there are more options. So they don't actually scroll to see these options. And so we get a lot of support requests asking us where inbox is or where the settings button is, etc. And we were like, just scroll and it will be there. Because once you scroll, you can access more of the items. But it's not that obvious for the majority of people. And that was reason one to try and figure out a new way to show the menu on mobile. So what we decided to do is, I'm going to show you now. So now this is mobile on desktop or tablet. And as I resize it to a smaller size, it shows on the side instead of the bottom. So that does two things. One, it gives you a full full screen of Plutio. There is no menu at the bottom anymore. There's nothing eating space from any of the sides at all, not even on the side, because the menu by default will be closed until you open it. And I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to do that. But this is great because if I close this menu, I'm going to show you right now. So if I close the menu, as you can see, there is nothing around. You know, Plutio screen is taking the full space, and that is awesome because there is nothing sort of, you know, eating that space. And we're trying to show you as much information as possible without having to scroll or to juggle around. So this is one of the reasons I like this idea. And the second reason is that there's a little button right here. So this will show on the side, and once you click it, it will open the menu like this, as you can see on my screen. And then you'll be able to basically see all the menu items. So one thing also here is, well, I'm trying to work around with or figure out how we can do it is when you sort of press or tab and hold on the toggle on this little button, we want to allow you to slide it up and down so you can choose where on the screen it appears. So, for example, if I close this menu right here, as you can see, So this is sort of the ideal position after, I've done a lot of tests, and I think this is the ideal position for that button to be, especially when you're on mobile. You usually use your thumb to press around, and the closer the element to the bottom right, the better it is, because you can just reach it easily. But we want to allow you to decide where that button goes. So we're currently experimenting with a method that will allow you to slide it up and down the screen to decide where it goes on the menu. So you can tab, on a window. So you can tab it, hold it, and then slide it up and down. So you can choose if you want to show it. I'm going to show you a quick example. So here's the toggle. So currently, you can choose if you want to, show it there, or there, or there. You can decide. So, Plutio is all about giving you control and being as flexible as possible to fit your needs. And that's just one of the ways to try and do that. So that's hopefully how our menu is going to appear, or is going to show in our next update. But it's not completely finished yet. So what I'm going to do in this video, in the very first part of this video, is try and experiment with where the account switching menu is going to go on mobile now. Because before, if you can see here, you were able to click on here and it shows the menu on the left side. But obviously now we have the menu on the right side. So what I have in mind right now is to basically, when you click on the business logo right here, there, the menu will expand even further, and the accounts menu will show on the far right. So you will have the main menu there, and then you will have the accounts menu on the far right side. Okay, so before I start experimenting or try developing that particular part of the menu, I'm just going to check that the live stream is all well and good, and I'll be right back. Okay, everything seems to be working just fine. So what I'm going to try and do now is start work on the account switching menu. So we have it here. As you can see, it's the white section. So here's off canvas. I'm going to go back to my code, page add-ons. So it's right here. Okay, so for the add menu, I'm going to add a class called account menu, just account open. And that will basically say that when we click on the accounts or the business badge, it will add a class, this add menu rubber, and then it will tell us that the menu is now opened, or the menu has been asked to be opened. And so that will allow us to style it accordingly and open it using CSS, because I'm actually not using any JavaScript or any sort of libraries to open or close the menu. I'm trying to do everything possible using CSS to make it, to make it as fast and as easy as possible. So now we have our class set. I'm going to go to CSS and go to where it's positioned, right here. So if the add menu has the class account open, then it will do this. And I'm going to style it right now. So I'm just going to move this to the side so I can see what's happening here. First things first is we need to make the width of the main menu, or wider even. So currently it's set to 68 pixels, which is enough to show the menu items only. But now we want to show the menu items and the businesses that you have or might have. So the width will change to, let's say, let's just see, 200 will be enough. Actually, that's quite a lot, so I'm going to put it to 100. Let's see how that works, or 150. Nice. So first things first, I'm gonna hide the off canvas. So for now, this white box, because it's not styled properly on mobile, so I'm gonna hide it for now. So container shown here. Okay. Continue. Content. So that counts less. So this part is I'm warning you, but you know I'm basically working right now, and I'm just sharing what I'm doing with you all, just in case you're curious or want to know what I'm doing. But this bit is going to be a bit boring as I try and figure out where everything is and how I can target it and where it needs to go. Okay, so transparent. Actually, direction will be con. Let's see, wrong. Nice. Okay. Actually, that's not right. No. That. Percent. Page patterns. Don't need that one. Huh. Okay. So it's hidden for. Just put that for now. So I'm just trying to show it, and it's currently hidden because it used to have position fixed, and obviously I'm removing position fixed completely from the mobile version. So now I'm sort of stripping it out of any CSS styling that was on there before, and I'm just sort of redoing it just for mobile. So going to be hiding the menu profile options. So we're going to hide these from mobile because I'm going to show them somewhere else. Or ultimately, we're not going to actually have them on the menu anymore. So menu, canvas, content, content. menu, section, profile, sheets, display none. So I'm going to hide the profile options, which is edit profile, affiliate link, and a logout, because we're going to actually move these away from that menu, and that menu is going to be dedicated only for creating new businesses or switching businesses. So that's display none. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and try and add demo businesses in there so you can see how it would look like in real life example. So I'm going to open my project structure and I'm going to go ahead to my modules file, which has preset modules that I've put there, so I can just copy them and paste them anywhere I want to show them. So badge, so we're going to add a badge here. It's probably going to be a small one. I'm going to copy this module, go to page add-ons, and I'm going to remove that completely from here. Image badge. Okay. Okay, nice. Okie dokie. So now, what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna add this as image badge as well. Cool. Right, so canvas options. So this is, we don't need any more because I already removed it from the HTML anyway. So this part here, okay, menu section, image badge. Image badge content. So I'm going to try and choose a good size for it, for the badges. 30 is awesome. 30 is just perfect. So 30, both height and width. That's great. They're relatively the same size as the menu items. So I'm going to figure out why they're showing down here and not just underneath the oh, okay. Off canvas has padding top. We're going to remove that. Zero. Okay. Actually, probably. So I'm going to try and move this to the left side or to the right side. So I might actually have a bit of a difficulty trying to show the main menu items next to the businesses, so next to each other. So what I might just do is I show the businesses on top of the main menu items. So I'll try to figure out how to do that now. Okay, so I think what we need to do is put the width back to how it was. Okay, now canvas. Background, dark background, because that's the background color of our main menu. Unless you specify your own color, obviously the color would change. Great, so we're nearly there now. We're nearly there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add padding top, let's say 10. I want to add some space between the list of businesses and the main trigger in the very top here. And I think 30 width and height is pretty small. So I'm just gonna, well, now looking at it, it's by itself, not with the main menu items. It looks a bit small. So we want to make it easier for you to tab without having to sort of focus very much on the area, tabbable area. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Actually, probably the default size is probably good. So I'm just gonna remove the presets. Just don't know why they overflow and get cropped like that. So let's see, probably the padding. Okay, so account list, menu section paddings. Okay, remove the padding from here, see if that does anything, and I think it will. Great, okay. Nice. Okay. Margin bottom 10. So I'm going to add spaces between them, between the business items. And I need to center them to the, I'm not sure if I should center them or should make them bigger. So basically they're the same size as the at the very top, this one. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So the size 48, 46. 48 pixels, height will have to be 48 pixels too. Okay, let's see. Okay, great. Something's not quite right here. It's sort of squashing them. And I think it's because the main container has max height, something like that. So the off-canvas height is perfect, off-canvas content is perfect. Menu, something with menu, maybe menu is fine. Yes, right. Aha, okay. Makes sense. I was applying the dimensions on the wrong container. That's more like it. Awesome. Okay, that was a quick demonstration of what we're going to do or how we're going to show the business menu now. So I'm going to completely focus on the browser to show you what we've done. So when we resize into a mobile version, like this, I'm just going to hide the off-canvas first. So, or the business list, so to say. Here we go. And I'm going to remove class open. So by default, on mobile or touch screens, narrow touch screens, small touch screens, you'll have basically the Plutio window will be full size. There will be nothing on any of the sides to distract you or to eat space. And on the right side here, we will have the small menu button. When you click on it, it will open the main menu, as you can see, and you can slide up and down to access the menu buttons, just like you would do on a desktop, because if you remember, on a desktop, it's also vertical. So you slide up and down, by default to actually access more of the items if they were hidden. So we're going to apply the same concept on mobile as well, because you sort of, subconsciously will try and do the same thing you would do on a desktop. So before we had the menu horizontally, we changed that. So I'm going to show you how we had it before. So the menu before was horizontal like this, which was very difficult. It ate space, and a lot of people didn't realize that they can scroll left and right to access more items. So as you can see here, what we did is we made it vertical, just like on desktop, but we moved it to the right side because it's easier to access on mobile using your hand. And when you click on that small menu button, it will open. It will not be there all the time. So now, if you want to switch between businesses, you click on the current business you're in right now on this top badge right here, and then it will open up the list of businesses. You can create a new one, or you can switch to the other business. So I'm really loving this so far, but your feedback is obviously most welcome. I will go through all the feedback and see if there is anything that I've not done properly or it can even be better or improved. So let me know what you think about this concept. And if all good, I think that's what we're going to do or test in our next update. Okay, so that was the improvement of the main menu, specifically on mobile and our apps. Now, what I'm going to do now is going to take a quick break, about 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to come back to work with you on polishing up the prototype and designs of our upcoming Wiki feature. So see you in a bit. Okay, I am back. So what we're going to work on now is the wiki page or the wiki feature. So before I get, dig in, start working on it or finishing it off, per to say, so what the aim from it is to allow you as the business owner to create let's say, a document structure in which you can have it per project or you can have it business wide. So first, the wiki will be available business wide. So there'll be a button on the main menu where you can access the main wiki, and then there will be a section or a tab per project. Excuse me, per project. And we also want we want to allow you to basically use it for, for adding notes, for keeping, if you have a team, to, to sit down, to set a structure of, like things your team can do or can do. So you can use it however way you want to use it for. But we also want to give you the option to convert these wikis into help centers. So it can be used as a help center, and hopefully, or ultimately, later on, connect it to conversations, inbox, and even the live chat. So for example, let's say I created, for Plutio, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a wiki called Knowledge Base. And inside it, I'm going to create all the articles, all the help articles for Plutio. And then I'm going to publish it as a help center. And then ultimately, we will connect that help center or these articles with the live chat, which I already currently use on our Plutio website. So for example, if you came to me and asked, how can I, create a task, just for the sake of giving you an example, then I can simply link you to one of the articles that are in the help center, the article that say, that talk all about creating tasks. So instead of sort of typing down again and again how to create a task, I mean, I could use a canned response, but I could just direct you to the help center and that specific article straight from the live chat. Or let's say you're having a conversation with your clients and they ask about, how do you work? What is your work process? And you've already structured that down or typed that down into a wiki article or a wiki document. So all you need to do is just link them to that wiki document straight from inbox. You can just use the / command and it will show you a list of all the available documents, and you can link to it straight away from there. So again, everything needs to be connected. So Plutio is not only about providing you with the tools, it's about also connecting all these tools as tightly as possible together. So the first step is to develop or finish off the designs so we can actually start working on them, start developing them. And then later on, once the first version is ready and it's been tested and people use it, we're going to start and connect it with the rest of Plutio to do the examples I mentioned earlier on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. So here's what I've done so far. I worked on this earlier in the week, and the idea is the structure, as you can see, is very similar to Inbox. In fact, I've copied the same Inbox structure and I've pasted it here. I'm just trying to change things slightly to fit the wiki needs. So what I've done is here, actually before that, so this is the first view, and you will be able to click on the wiki from the main menu. Then you can create as many wiki projects as you want. So one can be a help center, one can be my work process, one can be, my just documents of any sort, or documents you want to share with your team. And you can change the permission per project. So you can have ones that are private, ones that are public, and ones that are sort of, not only public within the business, but public to everyone with a link sort of thing, which can be used as the help center. So you create a project, a wiki project, and this view is going to be very similar to how we currently have the projects view. So if I go on a live Plutio account, so it's going to be the same thing. You can view it in a list or a cards view. Going to be very similar to this. So I don't think I'm going to spend a lot of time working on this part of it. So far, I think that's what we're going to do. In case you've given us feedback against that idea, then I can look into it. But so when you click on a wiki project, so let's say I've created one right now, and you click on it, it will take you to a page similar to this, and that's what we're going to work on now. So here on the far left is the categories. So you can create categories and then organize articles within. So here I have category number 1, It tells me how many articles inside it. And here on the right side, just next to it, I have the posts or the articles. So I can create a category, and then each category can have as many articles or posts as I want. So here are a few indicators. So far I have two indicators. One tells you if this article or post is private or not private. Two, if it's a draft or published. So if you see that icon, that means it's a draft. If you don't see it, that means it's been published. Here you can search, and here you can filter. See, on the far right here, the last section will be the actual post. So this will be where we will actually type and create our post or article. And that's what I'm going to work on now. Okay, so it's going to be pretty straightforward actually, because all I need to do is just add, well, I think we need to add the text editor. So text editor. I'm thinking maybe we need to add tags or custom fields of some sort for these posts, so you can tag these posts accordingly, so you can group them or organize them or filter them by tags. So maybe by tags even. So maybe adding tags. If you think there is anything else needed in a post, let me know in the comments and I'll look into it as soon as I possibly can. Title. So we have the body, the title, tags. I think we can start with that and see how we go from there. Okay, so let's go to the code. Okay, stats. That's the one that's missing as well. So stats, you know, how many people opened it, how many people viewed it, and maybe ultimately we can even have feedback buttons. So like thumbs down or thumbs up to tell you if that article was helpful or not. And you can decide if you want to show these feedback elements within the Wiki project or not. So feedback. Okay, so body, post body, content, title, the content and the content. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to a live project. See, one of the things I love about Plutio and the way we've built Plutio is everything moduled. Everything's based on modules, and I can just simply copy and paste them and reuse them anywhere. And that one makes people feel so consistent and so clean and easy to use. So we're going to be simply using the same text editor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the structure so I can show you how it would look like. And I just need to convert the HTML to bug, which is the engine I'm using to convert POG into HTML. So see if this one will work. Nice. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so just a few things. I need to clean up the code a little bit. Cleaning things up here before I actually start digging into the design. Start to figure out why this is. There we go. Okay. First title. Let's try. I'm gonna open the Wiki style sheet now. Just gonna try and find where that is. Here we go. Fantastic. Okay. So body. Wiki post. Okay, the head. That's the head at the very top. Then trying to find the title so I can start styling it. I don't think it's already there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it. So post body content. Oh, here we go. It's there. Field set. Can move this to the side so I can see what's happening here. So stripped. And that's going to strip the field set from all its styling elements, as you can see. Now I can decide what I want to do with it from scratch. So first of all, I'm going to add background color white to the body. And then I'm going to make font size of title a little bit bigger so, you know, it says it's a title of the post or a document. So I'm going to try to go with 1.4 m, and I'm going to add a padding. Actually, I'm going to remove the strips because I need most of its styling anyway, apart from the borders. So, yeah. Or, no. Okay. Bring the strip back. Here we go. We just don't need the borders. And I think we need the padding, so I'll keep that. Or we don't need the padding even. Okay, so title. Okay, field set margin 0, important because it's giving it minus margins here, because usually field set stripped comes together like different inputs next to each other, and we need the minus margin to make it look good, but not in this case. So that's the title. Just need to add, maybe I'm gonna try and add some border bottom underneath the title to separate the title from the body. So I'm gonna try that and see if that actually looks good. If not, we can just remove it and try something else. But border bottom 1 pixel, solid borders. And maybe margin bottom, say 10. Not sure that worked. I'm not sure if that actually looks good. I'm moving the background color from the post body to the actual elements within it, because if you will see in a second, actually it's not fully working. So because what I want to do is I want to keep the sides of it the same background color as the main background color, and then just the body container will be white, so it won't merge with the menu like it did just a couple of minutes ago. So I might need to wrap it with a different div. I'm just thinking if there's another way of doing it with that, adding more divs to the equation, because I hate adding divs just for the sake of sort of styling, you know, extra divs for no reason. Well, a reason, but not really that important. Think. So we have the page post body content here. Have the content padding to it. Then title. I see. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another div. So, content rubber. Oh, sorry, that actually going to be here. And that also going to have content. And then here, content rubber. Background color is going to go on it. I'm going to move everything inside it. In theory, that should work. That's more like it. Okay. So, or instead of creating a completely new structure, what I might do is I might just use the same CSS that we have for sections. So if I go inside settings, for example, as you can see, we can use the section module. But for now, I think I'm just going to try and make this work first. Maybe remove the content from here, and so that would be padding, let's say 10, and then padding 5 pixels. I'm a bit stuck right now. I'm just trying to figure out what we should do here. Page title, post content, content level. Actually, it's the content. Okay. 20. Padding 20. Border radius. Border radius. Okay, getting there. So you can specify the title, and then you can type here. I'm just going to change a little bit. Okay, don't need the margin bottom, so I'm going to remove that. I think that's good. So you can specify the title of the post or article here, and then you can start, typing it or creating it just right here. Okay, but there's something not quite right here. So post content, we can remove. Okay, so we don't need background color on post content, just need it on the main content wrapper. That's good. As you can see, the border radius now working on all sides. So we have the title, we have description. Now I think we need to add the tags. It's going to be pretty simple. What I'm going to do, copy paste another module that we used for something similar. Just going to find it first. So tags will be multi tags, so you can add as many tags as you want. So I think what we're looking for is custom fields. So if I go to custom fields, any of these, multi-select, or no, from project, task, custom field, say follows. Okay, so I think I need to create a custom field first so I can copy the same module. So task field, test, or let's call it tags. Multi-select, allow more options, tag 1, tag 2. Maybe allow them to select colors as well. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to go to a task. I'm going to add them. And I'm going to copy the structure. See how much time this saves instead of creating it all over again. And just so you know, this is not laziness. This is basically effective way of working. It's just efficiency. It's very, very efficient. Not lazy, just saying. Okay, so I think we're going to add that just under the post content. So post properties, maybe it's the right way of naming it, just in case we want to add more options to it that relate to the settings or property of the article or the post. So properties. I'm just going to make sure I spelled it right. Yes, I spelled it right. Okay. Properties. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to move properties outside the body just to test something. Post body or outside the content wrapper. Okay, so let's try that. But it's still inside the body, so that's good. Let's try this. Okay, we just need a little bit of paddings down here. So padding. Okay. And I think we also need stats. So I'm going to work on that next. I'm going to use I'm going to use the same ones we actually currently use now for time tracking until we develop the new ones, because we're actually working on a brand new graphs and statistics feature. But until that's there, I won't be able to design anything for it. So I'm just going to use the same module we have for time tracking. As you can see, these ones. Pretty simple, straightforward, very easy and flexible. So I'm just going to use it for now. And hopefully once the new ones come up, we will upgrade it. So stats are down here. So I'm just going to add okay. So some of the stats we need are viewed. What else? What else do we need? So you want to know how many times the article was viewed. You want to know if obviously if it was voted down or voted up, but that will depend if you've enabled the feedback feature, which I have not designed yet. Just thinking what other stats we need. So I'm going to look for inspiration, and I usually go to Dribble. So let's have a look at help centers. Or actually, articles. Probably using the wrong right now because my mind is a little bit not thinking straight. Okay, so I might need to leave this for later. So yeah, I'll probably leave this for later then. So I'm going to remove the stats until I have a little bit more data. And if there is anything you want to know about an article, let me know in the comments, and I will make sure I look into that and consider it. So if there's any specific stats you want to have in articles, let me know. Okay, so here what we have is, again, category, post. Each post will have a title, description, tags. You can change the status of it here, so it can be draft, can be published, can be private. You can see I don't really like that, so I'm gonna have to change that. It's when it was created and last updated. So I might actually move that down below here in the properties. Okay, so let's do that. To be honest, I think we move everything down to properties. And the edit icon will just simply go next to the title, because that will then remove this and we don't really need it. Because the status of it is a property. So next to tags, which is also the property of the post. So I'm going to do it one by one. But what I'm going to do here is first, I'm going to create a div that will wrap each property so I can target them. So property block. empty block, that will be tags. Or post tags. And then what I'm going to do I'm going to add borders to divide them. Let's see how that would look like, apart from the last one. So last of type will have border none. Just like that. And then I'm going to move the status as well down below. So it's in the head. Oh no, sorry, it's not here. It's up here somewhere. Nice. We don't need post head anymore, so that's gone. I think that's cleaner. Yeah. And actually I'm going to do something very similar with inbox, with conversations. I'm going to move that head on the top below. So I'm going to remove it from there, and I'm going to just move its options somewhere else, more relative, because it's just, there's not a lot in it and it just eats a lot of space. Trying to figure out why this is too high. Okay, makes sense. And I'm going to target the field set inside the status indicator even, and remove all the padding from it. Import. Okay. Okie dokie, so here's what we have. Actually, before I finish off, I think we need max width on here, or do we already have it? Let me just check. Yeah, but the width of it is just too, too much. So I think ideally 700, 600 max width. So I'm gonna target post body max width will be say 800 pixels, margin 0 auto, to make it positioned in the center of the page, not on the sides, like this. That's better. Okay, so now we have maxed width on it, so it won't like stretch out the whole screen, because you can't really read things then, and that will be the default size or width for all of them, even on the published version as well. Let's have a look how things looking here. Nice. So we will choose a category, create a post, type the title, add description, or create the article or the post, or whatever you want to do in a wiki page. Just type it right there. You have heaps of options like tables, video, images, links, everything. And then you have the properties. You can publish it, draft it, make it private. You can see when it was created and when it was last updated, and I think we can add who last updated it as well when we develop the feed, the feedback, or let's say the feed wall. So you can see who actually did the updates and what they did. And then here tags, you can add, or you can tag these articles for, to filter them, to search them, to group them in different categories. Okay, so we have the view where you edit or create the wiki pages, but now we need the view where you can actually see them. And that is maybe something we are going to work on a different day, because I need to brainstorm that, but maybe I can do it here now. Let me take a break, and I'll be back and see what we can do. I'll be back. Okay, so I think for the published view, we're gonna have different views, and I'm just gonna try and brainstorm them now in this session. But developing them, I might at the end of the session just sort of switch off and take a break and do them later on, or in a different session. But let's brainstorm what we're gonna actually do in this session. I'm just trying to think if I can show you my little notebook. I like drawing on it because it makes things or brainstorming so much easier. So I might move the camera to point on the notebook, but everything I might destroy things, so I'm not sure I should do that. So I'm thinking, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing as I draw them, and then I can try and show you. So we're going to have multiple views. We're going to have a view of the published sort of wiki inside the Plutio app itself. So when it's internal for yourself or your clients or your team. So the way it will look, it's very similar to this. So I'm just going to draw it very quickly, and I'll show you how I'm thinking it should look like. excuse my quietness. I'm trying to focus. Okay, so what I did, I'm not sure you can actually see. Okay, here we go. So here's the main menu, and here's the header with the wiki project. Just underneath the header, right there, we have a description text. So my idea here would be you can add a brief of what this wiki is all about, or you can add a banner. You can design a banner and add it there. You can add text to it if you want, but you can choose if you want to add an image or text. Or I might experiment by allowing you to add both. So, making more like blocks where you can just add into the wiki website or page. So you can sort of structure it depending on blocks. So underneath is a list of all the categories. And then when you click on a category, it will show the list of all the posts inside it on the side right here, clickable links. You click on one and then it will open it on the right side. So it's very, very simple, very straightforward. You choose a category first, and then it shows you all the items within the category on the left side. You click on any of them, and then it opens its content on the right side. So that is the very basic concept or draft concept of how it would look like. But the reason, so I'm thinking, the reason I said there is two views initially is because there's the internal view within Plutio. So if you're inside Plutio app internally, that's how you see it. And then there is the view where when you actually publish it as a help center or as a public wiki, you know what I mean? Like it becomes like a website sort of thing. And other people will have access to it without having to log in. They won't even know it's on Plutio if you have a white label. But like, I want to allow you to drag and drop elements to create this wiki page to make it fit on all views instead of sort of splitting it into two views. And that's why brainstorming it was a little bit, I was thinking two views initially, but now I think one view would be great by just allowing you to drag and drop elements, and it will look the same thing internally or publicly. So I think I'm gonna start working on this in the next session and see how it goes. But yeah, a summary of what we've done so far in this session is we worked on improving the main menu on mobile app by, we moved it from becoming, it was horizontal first, we moved it to become vertical just like on desktop, but we moved it on the right side and we made it so you can open it and close it using a small toggle that you can basically change its place or position on the window by tabbing, holding, and then swapping it up and down to change its position. So we improved the main menu on mobile. That was the first part of the session, and the second part of the session was finishing off our wiki prototype. So allowing you to create wiki pages and potentially help centers as well, or public websites full of information and documents for you, your clients, or customers. Now, the last bit of this session will be about putting these brainstormed ideas and drafts into actual prototypes, but I might do that away from the camera. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this actually, give you a little bit of hint of how I do things back scenes here in Plutio. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and if you have any feedback about any of the features, or if you want us to do, if you wanted to consider any of your feedback or feature requests for these particular features, let me know in the comment section of any of the live videos. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.